What's up, everyone? It's Chef Roberto. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday. I sure am. And last week, while we were celebrating July 4th, I figured why not jump across the pond this week and try our hands at beef Wellington. Now, I've never tried this, so we're in for a ride today, but I've done some heavy research, especially with Gordon Ramsay's recipe. Actually, that's pretty much all I've done. But we're going to get started searing the meat. Let's check it out. Like to get a harder sear on that. I probably should have waited for the pan to get a little bit hotter before I threw the meat in, but I don't want it to overcook, so time to take it off. As soon as that steak comes off, we're going to be dressing it in spicy brown mustard, and Gordon Ramsay's recipe calls for Dijon mustard, but I found some Sir Kensington's in the fridge, and he sounds pretty British, so I'm going to give it a shot. We're going to be chopping up 3 different kinds of mushrooms today. I have shiitake, maitake, and baby bella mushrooms. We're going to toss these mushrooms in the food processor. We're going to grind them up into something that doesn't look very appetizing, but it smells earthy and delicious. Once that's all ground up, we're going to throw that in a pan. We're going to saute it with some salt, pepper, and some fresh thyme. And we're going to make our duxelles. Now, when you are cooking the mushrooms, you want to make sure you cook out all of the liquid. They tend to contain a lot of moisture. But once it all comes up, that's when you get more of a mushroom-type paste. And that's your duxelles. And we're just gonna let that cool. Now it's time to roll out the puff pastry. I'm just using the store-bought brand. You could try to make this yourself at home. It's basically just mixing a bunch of cold butter into flour, but for the sake of time and my sanity, I'm gonna use the store-bought stuff. Let that cool in the fridge for about 30 minutes while I totally naturally wipe this counter down. Now this is my favorite part. We're going to roll some prosciutto out on some saran wrap in sort of a square formation so we can roll the tenderloin tightly inside. Gordon Ramsay uses Parma ham. For the life of me, I can't find that in the States. But I did find some fresh local New England prosciutto, which looks really good, but you can use any kind you can find. And once the prosciutto's laid out, we're going to cover it with our duxelles. Now check out how we roll up this tenderloin in this hammy duxelles deliciousness. And that's going to chill for about 30 minutes to let it all come together. that's nice and chilled, we're gonna pull out our puff pastry. We're gonna brush it with some egg wash all over it. Wrapped beef, put it on top of the puff pastry, roll it up similarly to the way we did before, making sure we close all the edges to remove any air bubbles. Brush that sucker with egg wash again, and don't throw it away because we're going to be using it again. While that's chilling, I'm going to start working on my red wine sauce. In it, we're using chopped shallot, garlic, fresh thyme, red wine vinegar, real red wine, and beef stock. Now, I don't have beef stock, but I do have chicken bone broth, and I'm going to use that instead. Those shallots will get you. Get yourself one of these so you don't smell like garlic for days. Now the trick to cooking with wine is using a wine that you would drink and drinking it while you're cooking. Leanna said I can't use that much wine. A splash of red wine vinegar, but you want to make sure it evaporates fully before adding the red wine. Today we're using about a half a cup of red wine, and similarly we're going to let that reduce almost completely before adding in the broth. You're just going to let your sauce simmer for about an hour till it gets to be the consistency you want. Now Wellington's almost ready to go in the oven, but first we're going to score the pastry on top and brush it with some more egg wash. Side, I just lightly seasoned some asparagus with salt and pepper and olive oil. I'm just going to grill it for like 15 minutes while we're waiting for the Wellington to cook. Not there yet. And when your sauce is good and ready, you're going to strain it through a sieve just to remove all the solids, but keep all that flavor. You'll know your Wellington is good and ready when the puff pastry is nice and golden brown. Now when you take it out of the oven, make sure to let it rest for 10 minutes before slicing into it. You want to keep all those juices inside. Now it's the moment of the truth, the big reveal. I really can't bear to watch. Oh. Alright everyone, thanks again for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed your Sunday. I sure as hell did. And let me tell you, that beef Wellington is absolutely incredible. This is the first time I ever had it. And if you've never had it before, order it at a restaurant. Try to make it yourself. Go seek out Gordon Ramsay to make you one personally. Sonny gave mine a 9 out of 10, so I'll make you one if you want. But check me out on Instagram, chef.RLD, and don't let Monday ruin your Sunday.